It's time for the independent member for Braddon, Ms Beswick. Please come on down.
Move motion 93.
Notice of motion number 93.
Thank you. The member has the call. 14, 15. May I ask if a vote is required?
Yes.
Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, it fills me with great pride to be able to speak about my part of Tasmania and its thriving tourism sector. Tourism is a critical industry in Tasmania and indeed the North West Coast. I don't need to read out the thing, do I? No. While other parts of the state also rightly receive worldwide acclaim for what they offer visitors, when it comes to a variety, there are a few places that can rival the North West and the West Coast. From the wildest adventures to the most decadent experiences, there really is something on offer for every taste. And while we're blessed with spectacular coastline and rugged beauty, it really is the people and their skills that drive the region's visitor economy. Just the other day, I was speaking to another member of our house about the view of Bass Strait as you drive down the hill towards Lillico and the Little Penguin Sanctuary. That moment when you look out at the sea, a different vista every day. You cannot help but feel the peace of God's creation. This is what tourists come to see. And it is hard-working people, like the Robinson family, who have recognised this breathtaking view and established the cove, and industry stalwarts like John Dabner from Tall Timbers, who combine innovation with great customer service to deliver memorable experiences for visitors from all over the world. But it's also the businesses that don't automatically spring to mind when you think about tourism, like Karen Duncan and Mark Vernon from Devonport 10-Pin Bowl, who rely on holidays, family. These less recognised services support the full experiences of our visitors. They help fill in the start and end of days, and they make sure that there are activities for the whole family to enjoy. And so it was a widely felt sense of disappointment when it was confirmed the two new spirits would be badly delayed again. Whether you were in the tourism sector or not, you knew the impact it would have on those who rely on visitors to make ends meet. You knew that it may delay your own holiday plans, precious trips to visit families across the Bass Strait, or adventures you were looking forward to, starting on the new ships. And you knew that people who had invested hard-earned money to prepare for the influx would need support. I am pleased the government has responded as it should, with a support package for the sector. This motion is about making sure that the support does not end there. I'm putting forward this motion to send a clear message to the North West and West Coast that the Parliament of Tasmania recognises their enormous contribution to the state's economy and that the region is worthy of ongoing support.
Agreed.
Of course, tourism operators in every single part of the state are deserving of the same recognition, but I believe in light of the delays to the spirits, it's important that the North West and the West Coast are a focus in the short and medium term. That doesn't mean the region gets support at the expense of other parts of the state. It just means that the commitments and promises that have been made are followed through on. We can't afford funding commitments to stall or decisions to be put on hold. The vital period is the next 2 years before the new spirits come along. This funding package includes vouchers for Tasmanians to spend in Tasmania, reviving a great system which was instigated through the pandemic. There were some teething problems back in 2021, so I am hoping that we have kept our notes and that we make sure this is when it's rolled out smoothly at the best time of year for business owners and families to make the most out of the slower seasons. A $5 million Spirit Preparedness Fund will support tourism businesses and councils in preparing for the arrival of the new ferries. We are told the Spirit Preparedness Fund will encourage the development of new products, enhancing existing attractions, and funding council projects like signage and charging stations, all on a 50-50 co-contribution arrangement. I urge the government to share this around the state, but I'm keen to make sure the North West gets what it deserves. I am confident there are dozens of great local ideas ready and waiting for support. I look forward to the announcements of projects and seeing them come to fruition. I'm personally very keen to advocate for continued work on the coastal pathway to get as much completed as possible in the next 2 years. We have recently had an opening for a significant stretch of this infrastructure, and the reception has been incredibly positive. It's already popular, but you can see how much this will be used in the future, providing opportunities for tourism providers. I'm excited that maybe one day we can hire bikes, book hotels, and travel from the Devonport Airport or even Port Sorell all the way through to Smithton without using a car. Speaker, we know how high-quality events drive visitation. I was pleased to see we had a delegation of business event organisers checking out the opportunities in the area just last week. Business tourism is often a forgotten opportunity when it comes to tourism grants. I know there are some great ideas out there that will only need a little bit of help to get off the ground. Stimulating and supporting new events is part of the government's promise to the North West. It's critically important that ideas like Illuminate the Coast are given the green light. Speaking of, I am pleased that Targa will be returning to the state next year. I applaud organisers for the safety changes they're implementing following the deaths of 4 competitors in 21 and 22. I appreciate these tragedies eroded confidence in the event, but I am confident the significant safety changes being implemented will provide for a successful future. Targa provides a significant economic stimulus to both our population centres and regional parts of the state. I am doing all I can to urge organisers to make the North West and West a significant part of future touring routes. The influx of drivers and their support teams would make an enormous contribution to the region's economy, and we all know there are a lot of car enthusiasts on the North West and throughout the state. Honourable Speaker, while there's rightly been a huge focus on the spirits, the airports in the North West also play a vital role as a gateway to the region. While the challenges facing Rex and changes to the services offered by Qantas have caused concern, the future of both Devonport and Burnie airports remain bright. It's time they receive prominence they deserve when it comes to advertising our state to the rest of the country and the world. I do not mean to leave King Island off the list, but too often the North West airports are literally left off the map when it comes to tourism promotion, including via official channels. They serve as important gateways to the North West and should be promoted accordingly. And while we do that, we need to improve transport to and from the airports for travellers. There is nothing worse than arriving late and finding yourself stranded with no way to get to your accommodation. Honourable Speaker, while my focus is largely on Braddon region today, it's true to say every single tourism and hospitality business in Tasmania has a stake in the future of the spirits and will lose opportunities due to their delays. So this motion certainly isn't advocating for support for the North West or West Coast at the expense of anywhere else in the state. I'm simply urging the state government to follow through on what it's promised. It would be a cruel irony if the support package promised to offset a delay was also plagued by hold-ups. But while there will be lost opportunities across the state, in the North West the future of the spirits is by far the hottest topic of conversation. It's partly because many residents noticed there was a problem on the Mersey before the government, TT Line or Tasports admitted so publicly. People knew the clock was ticking and the lack of progress on the new berth and terminal was obvious. It begs the question as to why the alarm wasn't raised earlier by a TT Line based management based in or visiting Devonport. I know the government has proposed a merger between TT Line, Tasrail and Tasports, but no matter what the eventual outcome is, I would advocate strongly for a greater presence of senior management in Devonport. Devonport is the home of the spirits and really should be home base for the majority of senior staff. I know plans for new Devonport headquarters were proposed in the past and have been put aside. I am arguing strongly for a greater presence into the future. Not only does it make sense to be close to the Spirit's home port, but high-paying jobs in the region would also have a positive economic impact. In fact, I'd encourage this government to put the regions at the heart of all decisions, as many decisions as possible. Honourable Speaker, I want to finish where I began, and that's by reflecting on the diversity of tourism experience offered in my part of the state. Since being elected in March, I've had the honour of attending many wonderful local events, from the tulips at Wynyard to the celebrations of our minerals sector on the West Coast. Such a visual contrast, but both memorable. I've been fortunate to try some delicious food. I think all of us here recognise the importance of keeping our energy levels up when you're on the road. But there is something truly special about the produce in the northwest. To watch it being grown in the rich soil as you wind across the region and then getting to eat some when you stop for lunch is something I'll never take for granted. I'm a little confused about whether it's called the tasting trail or the forage trail. Perhaps we can make the marketing clearer. But we really have some of the best fresh produce. And I must admit, when I lived in Canberra, I couldn't wait to get home to have some. We should be enormously proud of the quality of our fruits and vegetables, our meats and our cheeses, our wine, beer and world-class spirits. Tasmanians really have created a culinary experience that can go up against any other on the planet. Restaurants and cafes in every corner of our state are turning out dishes that fondly stay with diners long after they've cleaned their plates. And as we want as many people as possible to try them, that's why it's vitally important that we properly support this sector. Honourable Speaker, I would urge this House to support this motion to send a strong message of support to tourism and hospitality providers right across Tasmania, but particularly in beautiful Braddon.